I'm waiting for you to start.
Okay. Well, welcome. It's Tech for Senior. No, I guess I got the wrong show, right?
Yeah, start over again.
Start over. Sorry, it's
Cut
Learning
that part out.
Chromebooks. And it's this is the 18th of March. We have what, 32 people in our group today. Thank you for coming. This is a monthly presentation that Hewie and I put on, and thank you, Bob, for helping us with the attendance and keeping people in and out. I think you will leave it just open for the meeting. We'll let people come in. I think that's probably a good idea. Again, if you have, we do this on a monthly basis. If you are registered for this session, you'd never need to register again. We got your number, right, Hewie?
And
we got your number. Yeah, we got your number.
We send out reminders too.
Yeah, we're going to send you lots of reminders, so you don't have to register again. We will keep you informed. So that works out well, and we plan on continuing this for some time. We do record these, as I mentioned earlier, and so if you want to watch any of our past videos, be sure and you can be sure and do that. Today we will be talking about, well, I guess, do I need to introduce, does anyone not know Hewie? Do I need to introduce anybody?
I'm Hewie.
Yeah. All right. And where's Bob? Bob, there you go. Yeah, I don't really think we need to go through the introductions. Today we're going to we have a video. I have a video for the first. We're going to do my video, which is about 20 minutes. And we will be playing that. And then we're going to do a question and answer for about 10 minutes. And I've got some questions people have already sent in. We'll talk about that. And then Hewie has a video that we'll play, and then we'll see how time goes and see if how the questions flow. And if we need some more information, I've got another video that we can put in at the end. So that's sort of the plan for today. And we will get on with the show. I'm going to be muting everybody, and then I'm going to be sharing my screen, and we will be getting rolling here. So we're going to mute all, and again, you can unmute yourself if you need to. And we are going to share my screen, and we will share this, and we'll play the movie. Good morning, it's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior with another tutorial. This time it's going to be about, does a Chromebook have a hard drive? Now I have a favor to ask. Please click the like if you like this video. It really helps other people coming along to find it and enjoy it. And also, if you want to support the channel and help people like myself who are making these videos, please click the subscribe button. Thanks so much. Let's get on with the video. Now, what do you need to know about your Chromebook and your memory storage or hard drive? Absolutely nothing. This should not be a purchase consideration. Let the engineers design the hard drives, and also just go and enjoy your Chromebook. Your Chromebook's going to work fast. You're not going to have any problems with your hard drive, and it doesn't matter which one you get. So just go and buy a Chromebook. There are lots of other purchase considerations that you need to do, but not as a hard drive. However, since you're here, if you want to watch the video, what I'm going to talk about in this video is a lot of people ask me why your Chromebook has such a small hard drive. What is really the RAM versus storage in a Chromebook? Can you add extra memory? And what's the best type of storage memory to add? And how do you find how much memory you're using anyway on your Chromebook? It's a little bit different than a PC. And then we're going to get to the final segment, which I don't want anyone to watch. There's going to be a big stop sign, and only people who are real techies should watch the very last segment of this, because I'm going to get into some really complicated stuff. So let's get on with the video and see what we can do. All right, so you probably all are aware there's two types of hard drives. There is the one on the left side that you will see, and this is our traditional hard drive, which has spinning platters. It has a little arm that goes back and forth, and it read-writes the information on those platters. You probably all understand that. On the right hand, you have what we call an SSD, which is a solid-state hard drive. This is where there's no moving parts. All your data is stored on the chips and the electronics in this, but there are no moving parts. Now, what is interesting, though, is if you go back to our spinning drive on the left-hand side, you'll see that the cost of a 500 gigabyte spinning drive is around $45 at Best Buy. Now, Best Buy is going to make a profit on that of about 30%. There's then going to be a distributor that's going to make money. There's then going to be shipping, handling. What is the actual cost of making that particular hard drive? Well, in actual fact, it's under $10. So when you buy your $1,000 laptop PC and you decide that you're going to put a 500 gigabyte spinning drive in, you are basing all your data on a piece of equipment that costs $10 to make. Now that little spinning thing that's going along there and those platters that are spinning a bazillion miles a second, that little arm that's going back and forth, and you're basing all those moving parts on something so cheap as $10. That's why we always say back up, back up, back up, because us techies know those drives fail incredibly at an incredibly high rate. So fortunately for you, you don't have to worry, because Chromebooks have never had spinning drives. They never will have spinning drives. And let's just feel sorry for all those PC people that have spinning drives and all those problems, because we have Chromebooks and we don't have those problems because we have SSDs. Or do we? Let's get on. All right, let's talk about memory versus storage. Chromebooks have RAM memory in them, and most Chromebooks you buy will have either 4 or 8 gigabytes of RAM. RAM's not upgradable. The engineers figure it all out to make it simple for you. Because the Chromium operating system is such a tiny operating system and so efficient, we generally don't need as much RAM as we did for PCs. When, you know, those horrible Windows 10 PCs things we used to have, well, you just don't have to worry about that anymore. So it's not a big consideration. What you get will work just fine. As the Chromebooks have become more mainstay now, and we're seeing faster processors such as i5 and i7 processors, you will be seeing more RAM come in. But generally it doesn't matter. The engineers figure it all out. Then we come down to the CPU. The CPU could be, certainly there's a wide range of CPUs, and we're not going to talk about that in this presentation. As I said, Chromebooks really are mainstay computing now, so you can get pretty powerful Chromebooks. But what we are going to talk about today, as I said, is your hard drive, and this is, again, not a big consideration because they're all about the same and they all work well, right? So, what is this all about? eMMC, Embedded Multimedia Card. The eMMC is an embedded multimedia card. Now, this is a flash memory plus a controller. And this is all put on this little chip and packaged down into about 32 by 24 millimeters in size. It's an itty-bitty little thing that fits on the end of your finger. And this is basically the hard drive that's in most of your Chromebooks. It's also the hard drive that's in most of your cell phones and tablets. And this is called eMMC memory. Now, why do we use this as a memory form? Well, the number one reason is it's cheap. It's really cheap. Now, you all probably know about the Pixel phone. I have a Pixel 3 that I paid $800 for. And many of you bought the Pixel 3a for $300. And you're laughing at me because they both run the same speed. And you're saying, well, Ron, why is there such a big difference in price? Well, the Pixel 3 actually has an SSD in it. The Pixel 3a has an eMMC memory chip in it. So it is much, much cheaper to make eMMC memory. And that is why you find it in the cell phones and tablets that we have today. Is it as fast as an SSD? We'll talk about that in a minute. So when you buy your Chromebook, you'll have often a choice between eMMC memory or having a solid state drive. And is that a consideration? And the answer to that is no. Well, sort of. So eMMC memory can work just as fast and go as fast as a solid state drive. But I want you to think a bit about like this. I want you to think about eMMC memory as sort of one-lane traffic. And to keep the speed up, we limit the data moving sort of over one lane. Whereas a solid state drive, I want you to think of as a four-lane highway with lots of traffic moving up and down at the same speed as the one lane. So with an SSD, we can move larger amounts of data at the same speed as an eMMC. So what does that all mean to you? Well, not a lot. I mean, in practicalities with a Chromebook, they're all going to run fast. They're going to run great. All right. If you are a power user and a very high-end, suppose you're doing a lot of video graphics, you're maybe got 15, 20 tablets open or tabs in your browser open, or you're moving very large files, then yes, there may be some consideration when you're purchasing your Chromebook to get an SSD. But for most people, it isn't going to make a difference. So it really doesn't necessarily have to be a purchase consideration for you. All right, some of you, when you go to purchase a Chromebook, get a little bit concerned because of the size of the hard drive in your Chromebook. You see that it may be only 30 gigabytes, and you think, that's a bit weird. So what's with all that? Well, we've talked in other videos about the concept of Chromebooks and how the data that you're going to save is really in Google Drive or in the cloud. So you really don't need much in the way of a hard drive, and certainly a 30 gigabyte or 60 gigabyte hard drive is perfectly adequate. But if you want to add more, it's real simple to do. And all that you have to do is add an SD card. Now, I was going to say this morning when I was making this video that all Chromebooks have SD card slots, and you can just simply plug an SD card into it. And I went and looked on my Pixelbook, and it doesn't have an SD slot. So I'm going to tell you that probably 95% of Chromebooks have SD slots, and you just put a card in, but there's probably some, like my Pixelbook, that don't. Now, I'm going to show you a brief video on just how easy it is to put a card in. This is one I made. This is my one of my first Chromebooks. This is the Samsung Chromebook, one of the first ones that was out. And you'll see I just open the gate at the bottom, and then we'll just slide that little SD card in the slot. I think that was a micro SD card. Now, if you look at these cards, they are super cheap. You'll see 128 gigabyte was 40 bucks, 512, $90, and you can even get a terabyte. I mean, if you're really worried, you can buy a terabyte card and stick it in, and that was, I think, $279. So lots and lots of things that you can memory. It's cheap. You can just add it if you want. Not a big deal. My advice is don't get an SD card when you first purchase your computer. It's something you can add later. It's not a big deal. You most likely won't need it. Now, you can also add memory through the USB port, and there are a number of different options in that. You'll see, now I sort of have some suggestions for you. On the left side, you'll see a 128 memory flash drive. Now, the thing I like about this is when you plug it in, it sits right in the pretty much flush with the chassis of your computer. And the same thing with the one just below that by SanDisk. These are easy. You can leave them plugged in. You don't have to take them out. The one on the right-hand side, I wouldn't recommend getting. Those are real old technology, and they're fairly long and protrude out from your computer. You can't really carry your computer around with those in, so you have to take it out and put it back in. The ones on the left side, you can just leave them plugged in all the time. So if you want to use those and expand your memory, and you don't want to put you don't have an SD card slot in your computer, then you can certainly use one of those external flash drives. Now, Chromebooks are phenomenal if you want to attach any devices. You can attach unlimited number of devices and they all work really well. You probably will want to get one of the adapters that I've shown you in the picture here. I have 3 or 4 of these and use them. These are adapters that plug into either the Type-C USB port on your Chromebook. Remember, some Chromebooks will only have Type-C USB ports, and this is an example of an adapter that you can plug anything into here. On the end, you'll see it's got a cable connection for an Ethernet. You'll see there are a number of USB ports and an HDMI port on this particular adapter. And you would just take the other end, which is a Type-C, plug it in to your Chromebook, and then you could plug all those other peripheral devices in. And if you wanted to put another adapter on, you could plug another adapter into this and another adapter and keep going. Chromebooks you can plug anything into a Chromebook. Great machines for that. And of course, you can also add a external hard drive for your Chromebook if you want. And this is the one that I just purchased. This is the SanDisk 2 terabyte SSD that I just purchased couple of weeks ago. It's extremely fast. I want you to notice, for the techies at the very end, I want you to notice this NVMe in this particular hard drive, and we'll talk a little bit about that at the end. Anyway, unbelievable expansion that you can do, and so I would just wait though and see if you need it, because probably you won't. All right, in this video, I'm going to show you how to check the hard drive space on your Chromebook. It's a little bit different than a Windows 10 machine with File Explorer, but let me show you how it does. If you look at the bottom of the screen, you'll see my cursor is on the Files app on your Chromebook. Let's see what we do when we click the Files app. Now this is going to open up the file. We're going to come up and you'll see here it says that we have 74.9 gigabytes. If we click this, this will bring up our menu and we'll be able to see how much storage we have. But let's click out of this and let's start. I want to go back to, there we go. Let's come back now and we're going to come over to our settings menu. We're going to click this. We're going to come up to settings. Okay, and we're going to come over in settings. We're going to come down and we're going to click storage management, and this brings you to the same menu. So now on my Pixelbook, you'll see that I have 53.1 gigabyte in use and I have 74.9 available. Okay folks, this is where you have to stop. Whoa, I don't want anyone going forward into the next few slides unless you're techies, all right? And the reason is because Chromebooks are simple. The concept's simple, they operate perfectly, and I don't want to confuse you or try to make this complex. But there are some things that need to be said for the techie group that's interested in some of the new technologies coming along. So if you're not really versed in technology, cover your eyes and put your fingers in your ears and don't watch the next few slides, all right? Okay, good. All right, now, if we look at the new hard drives that are coming out, I want to talk to you about 2 solid-state drives. Of course, we have the traditional solid-state drive, but now we have the M.2 solid-state drives. Now, what is an M.2 solid-state drive? Well, you'll see that in the bottom slide here. And this is, again, it's a solid state drive, but it's much smaller. And it plugs directly into the motherboard through a bus in your computer, on your computer motherboard. And I'll show you a little video of that in a minute. These take up less power. They can be faster and are, of course, cheaper to produce. So we're going to see these come along in the next year, and you'll start to see Chromebooks coming in with M.2 drives, and you're going to wonder, what the heck is that? But these are solid state drives. So I'm going to show you a little video now on the putting of a M.2 drive into a motherboard. Also, it doesn't require any cable and plugs directly in, okay? But remember, both types of these drives require a bus. It requires some sort of connection from the drive into the motherboard. We'll talk about that in a second. So I hope you enjoyed that little video. That's how there's no cables attached. It's not like like a solid state drive, an SSD, where you often apply and attach a cable to connect it in. Now, the next part I want to talk about is NVMe. And remember, when you looked at that SanDisk SSD I bought, it said it had NVMe. What's NVMe? Well, non-volatile memory express is a protocol, not any physical thing. And that's what we call NVMe. And this is a protocol that we use, and it actually takes, now, we have two types of buses on there. We have a SATA bus, and we have a PCIe. Now, the PCIe is the fastest way of transferring data from your computer onto the hard drive. And what NVMe is a protocol in which it uses the very fast PCIe to actually accelerate the transfer of data, and it can make it extremely fast. So here's the deal. Remember, M.2 is based on a form factor, the size and shape of the drive. That's when we say it's an M.2. So there's two scenarios here. You could have the traditional SSD that we saw in the picture, and it could be connected either to the motherboard through a SATA bus or a PCIe. Obviously, PCIe will be faster. Because SSDs have been around for a while, it could be connected either way. The connection and the protocol used of this could be NVMe, but it wouldn't be any faster if the SSD that you put in, unless it used the PCIe, it wouldn't be any faster with the NVMe protocol if it used the old SATA. Now we come down to the M.2 drive. Again, when you connect an M.2 drive, it is most likely that it will be connected through PCIe because it's a newer form factor, and it likely will be, the motherboard will have designed so there'll be a PCIe bus on there. And then the NVMe protocol that they're going to use will make this extremely fast. And that's what you're starting to see on drives when you're purchasing them now. Okay, that's the techie stuff all over with. And we're going to get to the summary slide now. So in summary, we've talked about why Chromebooks have small hard drives. We talked a bit about RAM versus storage memory. We talked about how you could add extra storage to your Chromebook. We talked about how you find out how much memory you have available on your hard drive. And then we talked about some of those new M.2 drives that are going to be coming into Chromebooks. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video as much as I had making it. And please, if you would just help other people see this video, click the like and support the channel by subscribing.
All right. Well, I did that one a little bit longer than I thought it would. So what I'm going to suggest, Hewie, why don't you go ahead with your presentation, and then let's do the question and answer in the last 15 minutes. How's that sound? Unmute
Sounds
yourself,
good.
Huey.
Yep.
Is that
yep,
okay?
sounds good.
I
Yep.
think I was going to do some questions answers now, but let's just sort of let's do that after yours, and then we'll do that. Okay.
Yeah, really confuse them and then we can answer
Yeah,
questions.
exactly. Really confuse everyone. Okay.
And I'm going to talk about this later. And welcome. I'm Hewie Poplock, and today we're talking about Chrome OS 89 and its new features. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Chromebooks updates automatically to provide you with the latest features and keep the software fresh and speedy. To celebrate their 10th birthday, they have launched a special update to help you work better across devices and get things done faster. On Wednesday, March 17th, the version 89 was even updated to this latest version. But earlier in the week, we went from version 88 to 89. Let's see what the new things are in version 89 of the Chrome OS. One of the first things I noticed when I rebooted was the sign-on screen now allows you to see your password if you wish. Notice the little I in the center. I don't recall that in earlier versions. They may have been there. I just didn't see it. So now when you type in your password, if you want to make sure you're typing in the right password, you can click on the I and it'll show your password. By the way, that's not my password. Okay, what are some of the features that I did discover in the new version 89 of the Chrome OS? Number one, you can directly control your Android phone using your Chromebook, and your phone is out of reach. With Phone Hub, you now have a built-in control center that brings key capabilities from your Android phone to your Chromebook. See the tabs that you last opened on your phone, check your phone's battery life and cellular signal, and even respond to messages, all from your Chromebook. To set up Phone Hub, click the symbol on your shelf. And that's the symbol that I'm talking about. Once you do, it'll open up the connection to your phone. This one happens to show the connection to a Google Pixel 5. That's not my phone, but my phone is a Galaxy 8 Plus. When I clicked on it, it said, okay, turn on your phone to turn on the Phone Hub, connect your phone's hotspot, silence and locate your device, and view recent Chrome tabs open on your phone. Get started is what I needed to click. Once I did, I could get notifications from my phone on my Chromebook. I could enable the hotspot. I could silence my phone, and I can even locate my phone if I can't find it. In order to set it up, you get started by clicking on this screen, continue, and when it's done, it's done. Now I'm going to show you some of the screens that I got on my phone as well. But once it was connected, once I got started, I could enable my phone as a hotspot strictly by clicking on a button. I could silence my phone if I wanted or locate my phone. And you'll see that the connection now, because my hotspot is enabled, is not a Wi-Fi signal, but it is a cellular signal, data signal. I did a speed test from my Chromebook, and you'll notice that this was the AT&T internet, and my provider is not AT&T on my home system, my Wi-Fi at home. So this was definitely using my phone and still getting 46 almost 47 megabits per second download, and almost 31 upload. Here's what it was on my phone side. I had to click on it to turn on the notifications. I had to allow my Chromebook, and then I had to verify it all with AT&T to make sure that it was okay. So there are some security connections to make this happen as well. Get online faster with Wi-Fi Sync. Google has expanded Wi-Fi Sync to work with more devices, making it easier to get online. Your Chromebook can automatically connect to trusted Wi-Fi networks that you've used on your Android phone and other Chrome OS devices when signed in with the same Google account. So if you've been signing into a Wi-Fi account with your phone, you should be able to sign in now with your Chromebook. Get online faster with Wi-Fi Sync. To enable syncing with your Android phone, go to Connected Devices in the Chrome OS settings, click on the arrow next to the phone, and toggle Wi-Fi Sync on. That's all you need to do is turn it on. Powerful screen capture tools. Screen capture lets you take precise screenshots without needing to remember complex keyboard shortcuts. Easily switch between taking a screenshot or screen recording and choose if you want to capture your full screen, a full window, or crop to a specific area of your screen. To use it, go to your Quick Settings menu and click Screen Capture. You'll see this now on your screen when you open that. So you had the ability to either do a screen capture or a video capture. You can do a full screen or a partial screen. And you can go to your settings, and you can, if you're doing video, can record your microphone if you wish. All built in and all from one click on your screen. Keep critical files at your fingertips. Tote is a new holding space that makes it easy for you to find the right file fast. You'll have quick access to recent downloads, recent screen captures, and any files that you've decided to pin. Notice down at the bottom, and when you click it, it will open up and show you what files you have pinned. You can add files and you can remove them as pinned files. Keep critical files at your fingertips. So Tote will pop up on your shelf as soon as you take a screen capture and download a file or pin a file. Here it is again. And another screen capture. You can save time copying and pasting now with Clipboard. Your Chromebook saves the last 5 items copied, so you can easily paste any or all to a new page without needing to switch between windows. Just press the Everything button, that's the search button on your keyboard, and the letter V to use your clipboard. Of course, you can use Control C as well. You can see there are several items that saves the last 5 items. And I also did a screen test and showed the last 5 items that I had copied. And you'll see that one of them was a graphic. Get answers fast. Quick Answers will automatically provide helpful information like a definition, a translation, or unit conversion when you right-click a word. No need to open a separate tab to search for the definition if you see a tricky word on a website, a recipe, or presentation. You can remove this feature by turning off related info in the Chrome OS settings. Multitask easily with Desks update. I don't use desks, but if you do, they have supercharged desks to help you organize your workspace. When you reboot, your windows will restore to their previous desks so your workflow isn't interrupted. Multitask again easily with your desks updates by right clicking at the top of a window to send it directly to one or all desks, and swipe across your trackpad with 4 fingers to switch between desks. See your desks by pressing the Overview Mode key, which I'm showing there, or swiping up in the tablet mode. Personalize your lock screen. Turn your Chromebook's lock screen into a personalized smart display showing off favorite photo albums from Google Photos or pick from hundreds of art gallery images. Here is the settings where you have to go into personalization, go to screensaver, and turn it on. You turn it on, you can set Google Photos or Art Gallery as your pictures, and as far as the weather goes, you can decide whether it's Fahrenheit or Celsius. You can use your lock screen to check information like the current weather and what music is playing. You can also pause a track or skip songs without unlocking your device. Turn it on now by going to Screensaver in your Chrome OS settings. Here's my screensaver, or one of the pictures of my screensaver taken this evening. Now, I thought mine wasn't working, but it was. I just found that the lock screen only turns on by itself. I couldn't find a manual way to do it. Perhaps one of you will find that and let me know. Easily access your media controls. Your media controls are now built in directly into the quick settings menu, so you'll always know where to go to play, pause, or skip to the next song. To see them, play a track from your favorite music streaming platform like YouTube Music or Spotify. You can also pin this media player directly to your shelf for quicker access. So when you're playing a video and you open up, you will see that there is the episode and you can click on it, you can stop it, you can go to the next item, and so on. Here are the media controls. This has been Chrome OS New Features for March 2021. I'm Hewie Poplock. And there we go.
Great. Thanks, Huey. That's great. That's really good. Yes. I wanted to just hold on. I'm going to leave. Is that me getting the echo feedback? Let me just try one more thing.
I think so.
Put your
Are you still getting feedback, Bob? Is that okay now or what? You,
It seems to be okay.
Seems to be okay. All right,
Yeah.
good. Okay, so what I have some questions that I thought I would answer, and then we'll open it up to everybody for some questions. Is that okay, Huey? Do you want to do it that way?
Yeah, and we do have one that I think it was Gordon had earlier.
Okay, just let me because Chris Rosinski and I do the Chromebook SIG at our club, and Chris, of course, wrote me a 2-page questionnaire this morning about all the questions after this. He watched the video last night, and so he wrote me 2 pages. But as Chris usually does, he has some very, very good questions, and I thought that you would want to hear these questions. The first question really surrounding Chromebooks, and he wanted to know about speed of the Chromebook and hard drives in relationship to what you do with your Chromebook. And should a spreadsheet, first of all, be any consideration? And the answer to that probably is not so much with spreadsheets, unless you got 4 or 5 spreadsheets open and they're on and on and on. I think that most Chromebooks, no matter what type of memory you have in them, will run spreadsheets just fine. Then there was a talk about video editing, and if you wanted to do video editing. Now, this is interesting, but Bob and I use a program. Well, we use a program called Screencast-O-Matic, and there are a lot of video editors which are either apps or they will do the video editing online. So yes, you can do video editing quite well on a Chromebook, but again, it depends on the program that you're going to be using. Now, I'm not a professional video editor, but I spend 8 hours a day editing videos, right? That's what I do most of my life. And I do it, use a program called Camtasia, and I'm very good at it, but that's not a Chromebook thing. And I have a lot of memory in my machine and a special machine for that. But I think if you are someone you want to edit you're going to do some editing of your movies at home and stuff like that, I don't see any reason why you can't do it on a Chromebook. It depends on what programs, and we can talk about that later if people are interested. So again, if you were going to do, and if you really wanted to do that, you'd probably pick a Chromebook that had a faster processor, and most of those would come with a little bit more RAM. Now, then the next question, Chris asked about gaming. He said, well, what about gaming? Should we have fast hard drives with gaming? Now, this is a whole different topic, and choosing a Chromebook for gaming is not a good idea. Now, they are, with the new graphics cards that coming into Chromebooks and the increasing speed that we're seeing, you're really going to look at possible. And also gaming now is more of an online. There's different services, and you can do online gaming, which Microsoft or Google are providing the back end speed for you. To give you an example, on my flight sim machine I have in my office here, I have a graphics card worth $2,000. I have 4 cooling fans on the graphics card. I have 8 gigabytes of RAM just on the card. And that doesn't include, and Flight Simulator is 160 gigabytes of data. And I mean, you're talking about really high-end, high-tech stuff to make this work. And that's just not where Chromebooks are. But on the other hand, with the online gaming services that we're seeing now, then you can certainly participate in this and do them online. Then the next question Chris asked, he says, if you are choosing a Chromebook and you have 2 comparable models, one with the SSD and one with eMMC memory, which one should you choose? And that, of course, would be the SSD one. However, in most cases, this is all going to be selected for you. You're going to see that probably the Chromebooks have basically more limited speed, are going to have probably the eMMC memory in. Those of you who, Chris has a Spin 713, which of course is a higher end Acer Chromebook, and it has an i5 processor, and it of course has an SSD. So you're going to see the engineers figure all this out for you. Nobody goes to make a Chromebook and they tell the engineering department to make a crappy Chromebook that goes slow and has rotten memory. They're all saying, we want the best for you. So they're all designed to go fast, right? So it's not a huge purchase consideration, and most of these will all be made for you. Then Chris wanted to know, can you run apps on an SSD? In other words, can you take the apps that you have on your Chromebook and can you actually put them on another media, such as an SSD, and run them, or an external hard drive, and run them off of there? And the answer to that is possibly. Now, there isn't any reason why you can't do it, unless the app developer has actually written the app so that you can't do that. And that certainly is, we see that on phones, cell phones with Android apps. You'll find that a lot of the cell phone manufacturers or app manufacturers do not let you put them on an external. We used to have more and more eMMC and external SD cards. You don't see a lot of SD cards anymore in cell phones, but in the early days when, of course, you tried to put them on an SD card, some would work and some wouldn't. And so the answer is most likely yes, unless there's a specific programming issue that the app maker did that won't allow you to do that. But there's no reason you can't do that. And so again, I think that's answered most of Chris's questions. And I think that he asked me, he said, I bought an Acer Spin 713 10th generation iCore 5, 8 gigabytes of RAM, 128 SSD. Does it have NVMe? And who knows, right? I mean, we're talking all that at the end that I showed you about the techie stuff with the M2 drive, the NVMe, all that stuff you don't know. And the engineers figure all that out. It's more available because you have more of a choice in a PC. When you're building your PC, those technical data is all available for you. But you can never. I tried to find out on a Spin 713, and I went to the Acer website and I looked. I can't find out. It's not. The engineers know that, but you don't, and it's not an option really. So they're going to figure all that out for you. So just keep it simple and don't worry about that stuff. Chromebooks are simple. Don't try and make it complex. All right, those are the questions and answers. Hewie, do you want to open it up for any more questions or what?
Well, we had a question from George, but before we go to George, Harry Sutton put in the chat box. He had a problem with the new scan app, and after upgrading to 89, he's wondering if it's been fixed. I haven't checked that out. I couldn't make the scan app work even going into the what is it? You turn something on and you were able to do it. I couldn't make it work on mine, and I haven't checked it out to see if it works now in 89.
Huey,
I don't. Yes.
I have the 89 and mine does not work. That was going to be my question.
Okay.
Is that something that is unique to the printer, or is it something with the operating system?
I'm guessing the printer, and I have a brother printer, and that's I tried all kinds of ways to see if I could make it work, and I couldn't.
Mine, I have two HP printers and neither of them work, and I have the 89 update.
Okay, so Bill, let me ask you a question. When so the idea is that you put the page face down on the printer, and then you print on that printer, right? So it connects. You can see the printer, right?
I can see the. Are you asking me?
Yeah, can you see the printer that you're going to scan?
I can see the printer, but it says what it actually says. I can tell you because I have it open.
Mine never finds a scanner.
Mine never finds the scanner. It says cannot connect to scanners.
Yep.
And that is in the scanning app that you're looking at on my
printer. On the left side is the pane where I put the page.
Right.
The right side is the menu options, and it spins looking for the scanner, and it says it can't connect.
All right. Okay.
That's exactly.
I have an Epson, and I tried it before 89 was out, and it worked fine on an Epson.
Yeah, and I tried it on an HP before I did it on 88. I didn't try it on 89 or 90, so I don't know. I'll have to go back and try it. So it did work for me. It was fine. I just put the page down and it already had connected to the printer, and it had printed on that printer. So it just found it and scanned it perfectly. Wasn't a problem, but I didn't do it on 89. So I don't know that, Bill. I'll have to try it.
Okay. And Bill had a question in the chat box that said, has anyone had a wireless connection quit after it worked to set up the Chromebook? I've never had a wireless connection quit, but I'm sure it's possible.
Yeah, I don't.
Any responses? No. Okay, George, you had a question earlier, and let's go to it. And I've got a couple of comments about it.
So when I first got Chromebooks, I used to back it up the operating system onto an SD card. And I haven't been doing that lately. I'm not sure whether it backs up any of the files that you might also have on your internal memory. And I'm not sure whether you should do it after every upgrade of the operating system of the Chrome OS. So those are my questions. But one other comment. M2 has been out at least 5 years, and I've said this before. It was on the C720, so that really dates it.
It is. It is. It is. So George, let me ask you this: what type of files are on your local? Are they on your local on your computer? What local type are? Because if they were DOC, if there are any Google Doc files or anything, those are all automatically backed up onto your Google Drive, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what is on there. I don't have much, but sometimes I want to keep a couple of local files. Just another comment. You were asking about, somebody said a comment about spreadsheets. I have different machines, and on some of it takes 30 seconds to open Google Sheets before I can type anything in it. That's an aside.
Okay. So the answer, George, to your question, I think would be, if you create the document in Google Docs, it's either a spreadsheet, whatever, or an Excel file, whatever you're going to create, it's automatically put into Google Drive in the cloud, right? It's not, you have the choice of having it stored locally if you want on the file. We showed you that last week. You can either click on the file and say store it locally so you can use it offline,
Yeah.
but it's all those are all going to be automatically backed up to the cloud. Now, if you downloaded a spreadsheet file that someone sent you and you downloaded it onto your actual hard drive, right? You didn't create, then yes, that's a problem because that's not automatically backed up, right? So then you would have to say, okay, you'd want to back those up.
Yeah, and any screenshots and so on. I have a lot of screenshots that are there. What I try to do is every once in a while just back all that up to a folder that I create on my Google Drive and just take everything that's there and copy it over.
The original purpose for backing up your drive was if your drive became completely corrupted, you could put this SD card back into your computer and restore your computer to what was on the SD card. Is anybody bothering to do that nowadays?
I had never heard of that until today or yesterday. And so it's funny you should ask about that because I was looking at, it's on, in fact, it was today, it was on, I'm on a channel not a channel, but a Facebook group about Chromebooks. And somebody said that when they turned on their Chromebook, it was a black screen and they went to do the update from their SD card, or no, it was from their USB drive stick. And I had never heard of that. I've never backed my operating system up, and I had no idea how to do that. Let me share my screen and show you an article I found today. Share and close this and open up Chrome. And it was in Facebook that I found it, but I am going to, and I will put this in the chat box. But I found this article, and it was dated May of 2017, but how to create a Chromebook recovery USB drive using Chrome OS. I know that wasn't quite your question, George, but I did want to bring this up that I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to. And maybe I can, while I do it, I'll make some notes on it and be able to report it at a future meeting. But I did want to bring everyone's attention to that. And I will put the link in the chat box as I am speaking. And this is to everybody in the waiting room. I don't want that. I want to send to everyone in the meeting. And there it is. So I've never done it. And I have some same questions. If you update the operating system, do you need to do it again? And I think that's basically what your question is. And I would say, maybe not, because what you do is you load that, get it enough started, and then do a power wash. And I don't know if the power wash gets it from that or gets it from your machine. I'm not quite sure how all that works. And so my guess is maybe because 89 is out, it'd be a good idea to grab another USB stick and or an SD card and do another update just to be
Yeah,
sure.
just a comment. When people are updating their machines, uh, it's coming down as it's very specific to that Chromebook. You can't use a download from another upgrade on another Chromebook to update your, like if you've got an Acer and you've got an HP, it's what you get down is very specific to that computer.
Yeah, it's kind of like an Android phone that it's specific for the brand. Yes.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Right. Chris Roszinski's got a question. Chris, go ahead.
Well, I'll lay it out. And if somebody was saying they're having trouble, don't quite understand the scan from a Chromebook. Here's what Edith does it all the time. You we have a HP printers, 3 of them, and they all work the same way. You put the IP address into the URL. It automatically brings up the scan from the Hewlett Packard, and then it just scans, because the scan comes up on the screen, and you just tell it where it wants to go, and it works fine. It works. We're using it constantly.
It also works on my Windows 10 machine.
That's not the app in the Chrome.
Yeah, we were talking about the new app in the Chromium operating system that is a scanning app, which I think probably does the same thing you're discussing, Chris. So you just put the IP address of the printer in, eh?
In the URL line, right? Yeah, that's it.
Well, there is no there is a place where you can put the address if you know the address. However, mine seems to change every once in a while. If I lose connection and it reconnects, I have so many IP addresses that they sometimes swing around. All of a sudden, something's not in the same address. So I would have to check that. I haven't tried that, and that's what I'll try as well. But I'm also going to try with the version 89 to see if it works.
We'll get back to you guys on it. We're going to do some testing on this, and we'll get back to you on it.
Hewie, it's version 90. Version 90.
Mine's 95 because that was a screenshot that I did.
No. The version for your Chromebook is 90, not 89.
I'm saying it works.
That's
Sorry.
not true.
It works on 89. That's what we're using. We haven't gotten to 90, but it works. What we described, put the address in, and it
Works in Microsoft
it just works just fine. It works in Microsoft same way.
Okay. Thanks, Chris. Jim Glass, you had a question.
Yeah, I've been having problems with my cursor on, I have an Acer Spin 731, I think it is. And I get the cursor where I think it is and start typing. And I find that it's typing on a different line. And I haven't been able to figure out why, when I click on the cursor, it doesn't stay where it's clicked.
Using a wireless mouse by any chance? Are you using
yeah.
a mouse?
Yeah, no, I have a wireless mouse.
Try using just the trackpad and shut the mouse off and see if you have the same issue.
Okay.
It may be your mouse.
Okay.
The other thing, Chris, is you check the batteries in your mouse. Jim, have you checked the batteries in your mouse? Because if the battery in the mouse is fading, you'll find that your mouse is going to be flying all over the place and won't be in a specific. It'll wander. So check the battery.
All right, I'll try both of those. Thank you.
Okay, Bill James, do you have another question? Sorry, unmute yourself.
No, I'm good. I was just going to say I'm going to try putting that IP address in and see if it works.
Yeah,
well,
I think this is this is a good topic that we should probably discuss at our next meeting. For our next Chromebook meeting. It's obviously something we're going to all use. We want it to work. Let's figure this out. That'll be on the agenda for next time. All right, Chris, you had one more thing to say, the final word?
I have a question for Huey. We talked about syncing between the phone and the Chromebook and able to have the Chromebook basically control some things on the phone. What I want to know is what method is it using to do that? Is it using Wi-Fi and using data to do that? Or is it using near field, or is it using Bluetooth? Oh, how is it doing that between the phone and the Chromebook?
That's a good question. I don't have
Because
the answer to that.
Because I'm very precious with my data. Sorry, I'm sorry. I'm very precious with my data because we use the hotspot for all our data. We don't have a data connection. That is it. So if I was going to use a lot of data, I would want to know I'm doing it.
I'm suspecting it's through Wi-Fi. I'm sure it's not Bluetooth, but I think it's Wi-Fi, and you have to be on the same network.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
It's when you come back into your house, you've been out somewhere with your phone, you've been out and you open up your Chromebook, it's going to connect that way through your local Wi-Fi. So it's going to be through your house Wi-Fi. As long as that's secure, I think you're going to probably be all right.
I don't have house Wi-Fi. Everything comes off the phone.
Okay. You're using your phone as a hotspot then?
And have been for 10 years.
Okay, so you're connecting that way anyway. I'm not sure whether this will make a change or make anything different, because I was able to just by pushing a button on my Chromebook was able to start the hotspot on my phone and connect to the internet, and so it made the connection a lot easier. Before, what I had to do was turn my phone on, turn on the hotspot, and then go back and try to connect with my Chromebook. Now I don't have to do that.
Thanks. I'll try it and let you know.
Okay, Huey,
Yes.
it's
That was a
10
quick
o'clock.
hour.
Or no, I guess it's no, it's
3
not.
o'clock
It's
here.
12 o'clock. It's 12
It's 3
o'clock.
o'clock here.
I think we're done.
I think we are too. Boy, that went quick.
I know when you're having fun, eh? So I guess we're gonna do this again next month, eh?
I hope so. I'm
Okay.
planning on it.
All right, I'll be there too. Thanks everyone for coming. Again, we will have the video up later on today as soon as Huey gets. It's a rainy day here. I've got nothing better to do than put the video up this afternoon. So as soon as Huey gets it to me, I'll have it up so everyone can watch it again. Anyway, we will. Most of you will see you Monday for Tech for Senior.
Yes.
All right.
Thank you for joining.
Thanks for
Bye,
joining
everybody.
us, and we will talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.